This man went from a janitor to commanding a 300 million empire in the global maritime arena. Starting from humble beginnings, he's now the chairman of Bourbon Offshore Asia Pacific, the former president of the Singapore Malay Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and a passionate and active volunteer changing lives in the shipping industry. Today we sat down with this legendary figure to uncover 3 game-changing insights that any of you can start using right now to supercharge your path to success. Whether you're a teen, young adult, or simply hungry for success, buckle up and let's dive in.
Welcome to our second episode of Our SG Stories. Today, we're here with Mr. Farid Khan, Chairman of Bourbon Offshore Asia Pacific, a truly inspirational businessman who started from humble beginnings. Thank you so much for being here, Mr.
Thank you for
Khan.
inviting me.
Yes.
To be in your segment.
We want to start with 2 truths, 1 lie. So maybe you could write 3 facts about yourself, and 2 are truths and 1 is a lie, and then maybe we could
2 are truth.
guess.
Okay, I understand. So there are 3 things. You have to guess which one is true, which one is
Yes.
lie. Okay. These are the 3 things that affect my life going forward when I was young. So the first one, I left school because my father's passing. So I left school when I was 14 years old. So I left school because my father's passing. Then second is, I never liked to go to school. You see? At that time, a lot of people are playful and all that, you know. So kampong boy. So the third one is, I wanted to be a surgeon, not an engineer. So this is something that part of my life that not many people know about actually. Yes.
I feel like the second one is a lie because Mr. Khan seems like a very diligent, he'll be a very diligent student in the past.
You're right. You're right.
Oh,
You're right. I wanted to go to school. I really wanted to go to school, but because of the number one reason, my father passed away, so I had to leave school. And it's a lie. I really, really wanted to go to school because the third one, you see, I wanted to be a surgeon actually. I really, really wanted to be a doctor.
right.
But I ended up being an engineer. So
Yes.
compromise.
Right. So you started as a janitor, as a factory worker, and now you're the chairman of this multinational shipping company. So maybe you could bring us through your career path, right? How you got where you are now.
Okay. If you highest standard that you pass is only primary 6 actually, because in the Sec 1 my father passed away, so my result all haywire. So in Sec 2 then I decided that I have to leave school. The family need me already. I need to go to work. So at that time, if you are primary 6, most of the people they finish school and all that. So and I'm too young to really think about career. So what do? I find the odd jobs, washing cars, janitors, you know, doing all the odd jobs until I was a couple of years, 3-4 years, until 16, 17 years old, and I start to look for a real job. So when I'm 18 years old, I go in the shipyard, you know. Then I kind of like the ships. Every time I go and help the mechanics, you know, the old mechanics, to do repairs on the ship, then see the ship sail, and I say one day I want to sail. So it took me a while, then went to school in, I get my passport, went for maritime courses, then I was allowed to sail as an oiler. Then I left and I was a chief engineer. I still work on shore a little bit for a couple of years, work on shore, then come to a point that I have enough experience, not much money, but enough experience to set up a company. So I set up a few companies. Construction company, offshore construction, we partners. Then I sold that company. Then I set up Bourbon Offshore. And Bourbon Offshore, I came as a managing director and one of the shareholders. And then I became the chairman maybe about 10 years, 15 years ago.
What is one trait that you felt benefited you in this advancement?
There's a few things, but personally, I feel that what I have is I'm very focused. I know exactly what I want. When I when I start sailing, when I knew that you can be an engineer after sailing as an oiler for 5 years. But prior that, before I became an oiler, because I was wearing glasses, then I was not allowed to sail. so I'm not allowed to sail because they say you cannot be in the engine room because you're wearing glasses. At that time, they call it some kind of scheme that they have now on the deck. Deck and engine is the same training, so you wear glasses. So they told me if you want to sail, you must go as a catering guy, you know. So I do steward, cleaning the rooms, and all that for 1 year. Then I managed to get the captain to transfer me to engine room. So when I'm in engine room, I collected 5 years of it. 5 years, then I saw like that career in the maritime industry. They don't care where you come from, what is your qualification before, prior, and all that. If you are a qualified engineer, you are an engineer. So that is where I felt that this career is different from other careers. Other careers, they will see whether you A-level, O-level. In the maritime industry, as long as you got a marine license, they treat you as an engineer, you enjoy. Chief engineer is chief engineer, you know. So that is a career path that I chose. And I knew that I got to give 5 years, you know, as I advance myself, you know. So that career choice was right for me. Some people will quit halfway, but I focus on exactly what I want to be a chief engineer, and I focus on that, and until I really achieve it.
Definitely. I mean, I think we can all see that this sort of focus has helped, you know, Mr. Khan really rise up and, you know, achieve all of these accomplishments. I mean, you are an engineer, you're the chairman of Bourbon Offshore, which has $300 million in shareholder equity. You volunteer, helping those struggling to find jobs in the shipping industry. You know, you're also the president of the Singapore Malay Chamber of Commerce, the former president. How, I mean, you do all these amazing things and you're continuing to do all these amazing things. To a normal person like me, I'm like, where do you get all of this energy and all of this passion?
Okay. When I start my career, there's nobody there to hold my hand, you know. You see, so I was on my own. I did my plan. I worked very hard, you know. I have some very good friends who do advise me, and some of the officers. See, this is what you do, what you're gonna get, you know. So I feel that after I achieve what I wanted, then I will try to give opportunities to people who are like me, who wants to go to sea and make sea as a career. So, but they do not know how. They're not given the opportunities and all that. So I came in to fill that gap, and we looked through Mendaki Sense at that time, and Mendaki Sense had the platform. And we got a lot of maritime volunteers to go around Singapore Island, go around island-wide and look for people who want to go to sea, who want to make sea as a career. And that's what we did. And we did manage to get quite a few numbers of people who advance their career at sea. We managed to do that. So, not me alone, but with all the volunteers that we have, you know, we are all maritime career people, you know. So we kind of make a commitment that, okay, we're going to have the next generation of people who want to go to sea and have to train them, you know. So this is how we did.
Right, so what drives you to do all the things that you currently do?
It's to return back to society, my community, the maritime community. So this is the thing that I feel that there is a career in the maritime industry. We are an island. We got the biggest port in the world and all that. But the opportunities are there. But Singaporean, whether they don't know about it or they don't want to go to sea, currently a lot of people doesn't want to go to sea. Maybe that is why there is a little bit of declining take-up rate for people to go to sea, because you need to sacrifice, you know, you need to be away from home 3-4 months and all that. So a lot of Singaporeans are not keen on that, but it is still a good career. Of course, a lot of sacrifices, you know, and I feel that there is a void. If no, one day we need to look for outside people to come in, foreigners to come in and took some of the jobs that we should be doing by us here in our ports and all that. And this is something that I see that there is a lacking there, and I feel that one of the reasons could be because of the exposure about the maritime industry was not really intensive in the career path for young students who pass out and all that, poly and all that. Yeah. So I feel that there is a gap there.
Right, so for you, the drive is really about that potentiality of Singapore's maritime industry.
Correct. You see, it's the same like if Singapore Airlines, for example, want to be a biggest airline, you need to find a lot of pilots, you know. So you need to train, you need to invest with the train. So I'm encouraging Singapore companies to train more Singaporeans, you know, put a little bit of investment down there, you know, and train. And it's much easier to look for internal mobility than have to look for outside world, you know, where people might work here, they might go back, you know. And as a Singaporean will be here and drive the career all the way up, you know. This is what I thought it's the best way to approach it that way.
Right, but with all these plans, I'm sure you face your own fair share of challenges. If I'm not wrong, there's the 2014, the global oil crisis that impacted shipping worldwide, including Bourbon. So how did you deal with these challenges and how do you bounce back successfully?
Okay, to be this in business, asset-heavy business, the risk is very high, for sure. Especially the vessels are very expensive. Oil and gas is quite, how shall I say, political motivated market, sometimes, So someone says something, the oil price goes down, and all the thing, all the issues will come out. So, but there are good times, there are bad times. So the way I operate is whenever there are good times, I prepare for bad times, and I need to be fully aware what's going to happen 2 years, 3 years down the line. Sometimes I manage to ride it, sometimes I got caught, So, but I'm always ready for eventualities, what going to come, We got to be very careful, spend wisely, that kind of thing, So don't over-invest, over-gearing, So we go, what they call it, organic growth, So that is what our plan have always been.
Right, so it's so to you, it's really about being prudent, right? Preparing for those hard times. So when these hard times come, what is your mindset like? What are you thinking? How do you resolve this?
Okay, when crisis comes, the first thing on your mind is how to make sure the people who are supporting you, working with you, working for you, don't disrupt their livelihood. That was my main thing that I really very careful about that. So normally I have reserves and all that just to cover this in case we have a crisis. So, but the other difficulties will be when we are not going to work, vessel not on charter. Then the finance side, we need to manage it carefully. So that's why when you say the word prudent, it's correct. You have to be very, very prudent. You don't have to get a very big office, spend so much money, all that. So more focus on preparing for the worst. That's all. I've always been back of my mind that my people, my company, to survive. And we have ride a few crises. We have ride through, So, and we do got hit. Yeah, of course we got hit, but the impact. When the rebound comes, we'll be the first one to rebound because we are always ready, That's always been our plan, our strategy.
So, Mr. Khan, a lot of our youth these days actually want to be entrepreneurs. They have this big entrepreneurial dream, and coming from you, who's built this Bourbon Offshore Asia Pacific, built it up into what it is today and grew it. Do you have any advice for these aspiring entrepreneurs and businessmen?
To set up business is not easy. You must know exactly what kind of business you want to do, what kind of business you're comfortable with, financially sometimes, and the knowledge that you have in the business. But you must go into something that you know. If you go into something that you do not know, then the risk is higher. It's much higher, because there'll be crisis coming, there'll be distraction coming, there'll be disruptions coming, and how are you going to manage all that? So. For me to advise them is do more and more research exactly and make sure you have a proper business plan that can sustain you in the months that you start your business, because the sales will not come immediately. It will take time for you to do all that. So this is a thing that I saw a lot of people fail within 3 months, 4 months, because they don't have a proper marketing plan, business plan, financial planning. Then there is a disaster. Then you start to desperately looking for funds and all that. And funds is also not easy. Sometimes you get the funds, then the interest is very high, because your business plan is not clear. So these are the things that I think they will face when they want to do into business, especially new entrepreneurs and all that. They got to be very, very careful and try to get. There are some government bodies that is help young entrepreneurs, they do some trainings and they do some kind of subsidies and all that, depend on the business. So do all the research before you press the button.
Right. So actually this theme of our SG stories, the theme for this interview is on youth, because a lot of youths like me, we don't know what sort of career path we should be choosing. We haven't found our passion yet. We want to find our passion, and clearly you have found your passion. So do you have any advice for us, for youths like us, who are still trying to find their passion, find their path?
Career path is quite wide in Singapore. A lot of opportunities here than like some other countries, but here there's a lot of opportunities. For sure, you need to know exactly what you want. You know, if you're not very sure here, not very sure there, then that's why I say it's always do a good research and try to do what they call it the case studies. You know, look at someone close to you, what business they are in, and how, you know, talk to them and how did they survive. You know, how did they start up, and what kind of support that they get from the public, from the people around you, from some banks sometimes. You know, so that you really need to look at what. Sometimes the feel is good. You know, this business is good for me. You know, but that's not enough. You know, you need to do a background research. Unless you talk about career path. Career path is easy. It's go to school, qualify yourself, and go and do what you like. You know, you can see in the news some people, doctors, will finally tomorrow start to sell char kway teow. You know, so it's a choice, right? People say, I wanted to be a doctor. Then you talk to this lady, after become doctor, she go and sell char kway teow, for example. Then that kind of throw you off a bit. You know, maybe the doctor is not as good as what we thought. You know, so it's something that you must do a research in generally. Then you see what exactly are you passionate about. You know, you want to be a doctor, you got to be very passionate about people healthcare, you know, the well-being of people, you know, and it's different than from engineer. You know, if you want to be an engineer, then engineer, different qualification, different industry, you know, and look at the what exactly are you comfortable with, because engineers sometimes work in the engine room, quite hot, you know, in the hot sun, you know, so what exactly you want. But of course, there are some top careers that you can target. I say target. For example, doctors, lawyers. You know, these are all you like it, you go for it. Of course, you need to go and study and some good results, go to good universities and come back. And even doctors one day will become business people. They can set up this. You know, lawyers also set up their own law firm. So there are career paths that you switch back to business. Some people decided to go char kway teow. Some people decided to open a healthcare center. It depends on what within the capacity. But some people switch because of the time with the family during after they've done it. You know, I just want to spend time with the family. Then they switch career, tone down, we call it. So it's depend on what you like. You know.
Right. So you mentioned about if you are looking at a particular job, looking at both the good and the bad, or doing that research beforehand, but also not stressing out and fixating on one particular path, because who knows, you know, you might be a doctor, but then you're suddenly interested in selling char kway teow, just go for that. So no need to stress out as well, right? But for youths who are looking for potential jobs in the future, and as someone who's been in this extremely competitive marine industry for 25, 30 years, what are some skills that youths can develop to be more, say, employable?
Look at the focus on the country we are in. Okay, what is our main business? We can look at it. Airline is one, maritime is one, finance is one, law is one of it. Now IT is slowly coming in. You know, maybe one day the film industry also come in. So you need to read all the news, is the available news, and you see. Okay, then you can see. You don't want to be taking a mining career where Singapore there's no mining. You know, so this is something that you need to be realistic. You know what you like. You know, so like other countries, they can be NASA, you know, go to the moon. Whereas in Singapore, we don't have that. You know, so the career path that you choose must be realistic. But I would suggest that look at the main industry that bringing the economy, the GDP to the country. That is the target you should go. You know, I feel for a career path. Yeah. Of course, other than doctors and all that, is a common practice here. You can take up that. You can take surgeon. You can take all this. But the big industry here will be finance. Legal, I think, also part of it. Then more on the airline, and then maritime. Yes, these are the main industries that you can target.
Right. So, are there any specific skills that maybe you should try and learn, like hard skills or soft skills, that sort of thing?
Okay. If you want to go maritime industry, I am very familiar with maritime. If maritime industry you want to go, then you find out exactly what is a maritime industry encompass of. You know, maritime industry is not sailing alone. You know, there are maritime law, maritime this, maritime that, a lot of things. Maritime purchasing, you know, brokerage, you know, onshore base. You know, not all maritime are sailing. No, it's not all. Managing the assets, you know, work in the bank, maritime finance. There's a lot of financing that comes from Singapore banks. You know, even foreign banks are based here. So if you go to finance, stick to finance, then do all the short courses that you have, then you see whether you are comfortable in finance or not. If you are engineering guy, you feel like I'm more hands-on guy, then go and look at like Singapore Poly. You know, they go have all these courses. You know, they go into engineering. You know, you go up that scale there. You know, so there are. You want to go airline? Okay, you don't like to fly, but you want to be in the airline industry. You can be a aeronautical engineer. You know, repair the engine. You know, so this type of career path is there. Only that you must find, some of them did not really publicize it that much. Some did, you know, they put in newspaper, you know, like government, they do put some in the newspaper, career. Some industry doesn't show so much. You need to do your own research. You need to find out exactly what target. So before you choose a career, maritime industry, airline industry, finance industry, legal industry, you sit down and you see which one is the one that you feel with what qualification you have at the moment will be an easier path for you for entry point, then you pick that one. That would be my suggestion. Yeah.
Do you have any final message for the youth who are viewing this video right now?
Never give up. That's all. Go to school, finish, get your degree as high as possible. That is my advice. Yeah, you know, knowledge is always power. Right? You know, don't give up halfway, especially education. I went through that. I was forced to do that. As I say, if given the opportunity, I still go back to school. All these things that I have is I work for it. You know, but what I really wanted is to finish school, go to university. You know, go back with a good degree, PhD or something like that. You know, that was what I wanted. I really wanted that, because if you have a PhD, for example, you can build a career anytime. You know, so for my side, I was a bit lost. You know, so but I chose a career path that I feel is very comfortable to me, without looking back on whether how much certificate or education that I have. You know, I build a career based on that. You know, but you guys, youngsters, you have the opportunity. Go to school. Make sure you get all the qualification that you have. Then you sit down and you choose your career. The base you must have. At least you got a degree or something. Then from there you decide what you want. There are degree people who become pilots also. You know, so but foundation is still education. I feel that is what I emphasize more and more. That whatever you do, finish the school, get the best of the result that you can get, then you sit down and say what you want in life.
I think Mr. Khan has really shared valuable lessons for all of us, from what sort of skills we should be pursuing in terms of education, what sort of jobs that we should be looking at, but even beyond that, the sort of grit and determination, those values and ethics that has made him into the man he is today. Thank you so much, Mr. Khan.
Thank
You're
you for
benefiting a lot of
inviting me.
people.
Thank you for this talk.
And
good to have this kind of opportunity to talk to youngsters. I like it. You know, it's good sharing, you know, experiences and all that. And I hope it will be some benefit to some youngsters that are out there who still thinking what career they want to do. So go and get a good education first. Then after that, sit down and think about all the career path that you want.
so definitely benefit our viewers. So
Thank you very much.
thank you, and we'll see you on the next episode of Our SG Stories.